Hello everybody, my name's Steve, I'm the British Railroader and welcome to the Model Railway Room. Now you may be wondering why I'm dressed up in a high-vis and with my New York and Atlantic t-shirt on, and that's because today we're doing an operating session. So Brooklyn Park has been being built over the last year, but it's basically been up and running for most of that time. I've been able to run trains, but I've never done a full operating session, and I decided that today's the day that I'm going to correct that little mistake. And to help me with this, I've got my work order. I've got this switch list, which I'll show you a bit more closely in a minute, but this is actually one that I pinched with pride from Lance Midtime's book, How to Operate a Modern Era Switching Layout, in which he gives an example of a work order, a switch list, whatever you want to call it. And I've basically adapted his for use here on Brooklyn Park. So let's go down onto the desk. We'll take a little look at this and then we'll get started. Okay, so here we've got my switch list. And as I said, this is something that I took from Lance Midtime's book. But it's got some important information on there that will just help me organise myself as I'm going along. Now, the train that's coming in, it's got 4 cars, which we'll look at in a minute. And all of those cars are being dropped off, and then we're picking up 5 to take out. So the train itself is the RS-73. There is no such thing as the RS-73 as far as I know. This is my made-up train, but the RS-73 runs from Fresh Pond to Brooklyn Park and back. We've got today's date, which is the 12th of April. Now, my English friends are probably saying, hang on a minute, Steve, that says the 4th of December. But guys, this is an American switch list, so I've written the date the correct way. Now, the train set to depart Fresh Pond at 9. It actually left at 8:58. And the locomotive is number 261, my favourite GP38-2. And we're switching 4 industries. We've got the Long Island Brewery, Macklemore Logistics, Brooklyn Park Scrap, and Sentinel Lumber. So, Long Island Brewery, we're basically swapping out an empty corn syrup tanker for a full one. We are then going to go to Macklemore Logistics and we are going to take out 1 car. But to do so, we have to move 2 others. So we'll respot them. And then we're going to put in an empty car because obviously to be loaded up. Then we've got Brooklyn Park Scrap. So we're going to take out the full gondola and replace it with an empty one. And then lastly, at Sentinel Lumber, we've got 2 empty cars that need to come out, but 1 full car to go in. So that's the switch list. It isn't necessarily in the order that I'm going to do it. Thinking about it, I'm probably going to switch out Long Island Brewery first, then the scrapyard, then logistics, and then lastly, the lumber yard. So let's get up onto the layout and have a little look and see what's what. So here's our train just idling at the entrance to Brooklyn Park. And as you can see, we've got the loco at the front just here, hiding behind the lumber yard. We've then got a gondola. We've got the boxcar. We've got the lumber car, the flat car with the central spine. And right at the end, we've got the tank car. And if we swing around here, we're going to come into Brooklyn Park, go round over the crossing. The traffic's going to be tied up quite a lot today with all of this switching. And we're going to get started. So I think the first thing that we've got to do is get the tank car from the brewery. Okay, our first switching move is complete. So 261 is now going to uncouple from the train and run around it so that it can shove some cars forward. So let's get going. as you can see, I've just left the boxcar here as well as the gondola, because that's going to help me with my next two switching moves. So we're just going to move the other wagons out of the way. As you can see, we're going quite slowly, but that's to try and make it a little bit more realistic. It's going at about 5 miles an hour, thereabouts. So we're going to come round. Going to pick up the gondola. And we're going to take this out. And we're going to drop it off at the track behind so that we can then spot the gondola we've got left. We're going to drop that off just there and come and sort that out in a minute. There we go. That's the second car now delivered. We're going to move out of the way. And what I'm going to do is a bit of a move around, actually, because I need that other gondola out of the way for the time being. So putting it back in this siding for now will help with that. So let's just go and collect that. Okay, so we're just going to drop this gondola just here so that we can then start getting to work on the boxcars. Now, before I can get to work on the boxcars, I'm going to have to drop this one off and just leave it just here, and then go and move the other part of the train into the other runabout, into the other side of the runaround loop. So we're going to leave the train just here. And we're going to run around and start dealing with the boxcars over at Macamolt Logistics. My first job is going to be collecting up these 3 boxcars in the siding. First one. The second one. And there's the third one. We'll just make sure they're all tied up. So they're being moved out. We're going to go and pick up the Wisconsin Central boxcar so that it can go in spot number 3 where the rail boxcar was. So we've got Wisconsin Central. We're going to take everything out and we can spot Wisconsin Central over in the corner at spot 3. And drop it off there. We're now going to drop Railbox off on the connecting track just so that we can then respot the MR&T and the Bath and Hammond Sport boxcars at their respective spots. So we're going to position the MR&T at spot 2. And then we're going to put the Bath and Hammond Sport back at spot number 1. Okay, 3 industries done. 1 more to go, but I've got various cars in various places. So we're going to do some tidying up. And I think what we might do is move this gondola down into spot 1 at the scrapyard. Move the rail box car to where the gondola is, and that gives me lots of room for dealing with the lumber yard, which is kind of what I want because that's quite a big train. Though actually I think I might not need to. I think I've got enough room to get everything done without doing that. So I'm going to shove the rail box right down to the end of the siding, which in turn should give me enough room to do what I need to do with the lumber yard. Okay, so the GP38 is now going to back round into the lumberyard and pick up these 2 cars and replace them with the full lumber car that's currently waiting over here in the siding with the tank car. Better blow my horn. I've not done enough of that during this session. I do apologise. So let's take these out. And let's see if I've actually got the room to do what I plan to do. So we're just going to back this round. And that's our load dropped off at the lumber yard. So the last thing we've got to do is reform our train so that we can take it out of here. So I'm going to drop these two lumber cars, right terminology, just back with the tank car. I'm sure that there would be somebody with health and safety who's not happy with exactly where my tank car is at the moment, but I need that there, so T61 can go forward. And first collect the gondola. Now, to be able to go and pick up the box car, I need to pull this back, and what we're going to do is we're going to go down the track leading to the lumber yard, and I hope I've got enough clearance. If not, we're going to have a little bit of a smash up, but we'll see what happens. As far as I know, I should have just enough clearance, which I have. We can then go forward and pick up the rail box car. T61 is now going to run around the rest of the train, hook up at the other end, and train RS73 will be good to go back to Fresh Pond. I feel sorry for the commuters in Brooklyn Park. They've been waiting for a very long time for the gates to go up, because I'm not a very good crossing gatekeeper. Must get better at that in the future. So there we go, that's RS73 now all reformed, ready to leave Brooklyn Park and head back to Fresh Pond. That session's taking me just under an hour to complete. Obviously I've edited it down a little bit for you guys, take out some of perhaps the less interesting bits. Okay, well that was great fun. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button and click the little bell, and that will tell you when I've got new videos coming out. If you have any questions or any comments, please post them below. But that's it for today. My name's Steve, I'm the British Railroader, and I'm saying goodbye from my model railway room. Bye bye.